Hello, everyone. Welcome to another brand new day. Brand new day for us to do whatever it is that we can do for our dear nation. And every one of us, there's always something that we have the talent to do or the capacity to do or something that comes easy for us to do that we can contribute in making our country great. We don't have any other country. This is the only country we have. And it's very important for all of us to put our hands together and ensure that we have a Nigeria that we are deserving of and we can all be proud of. Today, my video is going to be on the question that was posed by Girl MD. I think I've done a video on it before, but I've not done it as extensively as I hope to do it today. And of course, it's on the issue of Nigerians in diaspora. And so basically what she was asking was, what can Nigerians in diaspora do or contribute towards the 2023 election that is coming on? And there's so much that Nigerians in diaspora can contribute. But before we go ahead, let's just look at certain facts that we have. First of all, there are about 15 million Nigerians in diaspora, and the 2020 World Bank report did say that 65.34 billion were remitted in 3 years, and that contributing to 4% of the GDP of Nigeria. And so Nigerians in diaspora, they do help the economy a lot. As much as we hear people, when people say they japa and some people make fun of them, they contribute so much to the economy of our country. The monies in terms of looking after relatives, taking care of people, doing all, they do so much. But the irony of it all is that with all of this economic contribution that the Nigerians in diaspora do, they have zero political power. And that's really sad. How do you contribute so much and yet you do not have any power? Nigerians in diaspora, basically, they are not allowed to vote where they are. So it's not as if you can't vote, but you have to come back home. And so the process of coming back home to come and get your PVC and come and vote when it's time for election, it disenfranchises a lot of people. So in essence, they are not allowed to vote, even though technically and within the law they are allowed to vote. But the hurdles that they have to go through to come to Nigeria to vote, that's not the way it should be. So there's a need for Nigerians, to start making that demand. So it's very important for Nigerians indeed that Nigerians in diaspora to make those demands. This is the time of election. As candidates come to you, some of them will be coming around, traveling outside of the country. There's a need to hold them to that, to hold that conversation and hold them to ensuring that indeed the Nigerians in diaspora get what do you call it now, the capacity to be able to vote. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to ensure that all the points extensively, I don't miss out anything. So I will be using my notes, which most of you know I normally don't use my notes. I flow more when I speak of it, but I need to have all of these points and ensure that they are all being covered. So here we are. It's very important. The reason why Nigerians in diaspora are really not voting, it's not because of any technicality or because it's such a big deal. But the thing is that the politicians don't want them to vote. The Nigerians in diaspora represent a threat to the things that they normally do to get into office. You can't intimidate the Nigerians in diaspora with what do you call it, either security agents or talks or buy their votes. And with the kind of numbers that they have, over 15 million of them, they actually can be deciding factor in an election. And so it's better for the average politician that we have to sideline and disenfranchise the Nigerians are in diaspora. So it's very important for Nigerians in diaspora to begin to actually fight for this right. So but let's come back to the main question that was asked, which was on the issue of what is it that they can do right now. So yeah, fine, it's not in the law yet, they are not able to vote, but what is it that they can do towards the 2023 election? The first thing, of course, is is education. You have to help a lot of people to connect the dots, because many people do not understand the relationship between governance and their lives. So when they are looking for money to pay their children's school fees, when they need money for hospital bills, when they need money for one thing or the other, or someone has not gotten a job, they need somebody to call somebody, they need connection, they call you in diaspora. You're not government. People need to understand that these are things that government is supposed to do. Government is supposed to make these things easy so that you don't have any need to ask anybody for any help. If we have good quality primary and secondary school education, you will not need to ask anybody for school fees. Free one, because the government will provide those basic education. So that's one of the things that the Nigerians in diaspora need to do, which is this education. And they also need to understand that whatever happens in Nigeria, even if you japa, it also affects you while you're outside the country. Because the more there is bad governance, the more there's poverty, definitely what happens? You're going to be working more hours to remit money back home, because the demands are going to increase. And even with this insecurity, let the people back home understand that most of you can no longer travel and come back home because of the insecurity. As when you even come, you can't go to the villages. And so all the things, all the economic what do you put it now, advantage that used to come with you coming back home. I mean, you're going to spend money, you're going to buy things, you're going to sometimes stay in hotels, stay in your houses. It contributes to the economic development of the community. That is no longer there. You bring gifts, you bring money, there's so much merriment when during holidays or during festivities that you all go back home. But right now that can't be done because of the insecurity that we have. So that's also the dots that you need to let people connect, because sometimes surprisingly you find out that a lot of people are not able to connect lots of dots. So that's one of the things that needs to happen. Education, let people connect the dots, let people understand the relationship between governance and their lives, let people understand that they have the capacity to do so many things. Then the other issue is the circle of influence that every one of us we all have. And this circle of influence, in terms of the people that you are helping, in terms of the people that look up to you, in terms of the people you relate to, in terms of families and friends, what do we do with this circle of influence? Most times we do not even talk to the people about politics. When we talk about politics, it's just merely to complain about Nigeria and all of us we go away. We do not try to educate the people. We do not try to talk to people, let them understand that relationship. And because there are so many people that look up to us that when you say something, they do believe it. So, but there's this thing where they say nature abhors vacuum. So nature abhors vacuum. If you leave something, somebody else is going to fill it up, whether it's for good or for bad. And so when we do not talk to people within our circle about politics, about helping them to make those political choices, not necessarily forcing them to make the choices, but guiding them and giving them the information for them to be able to make informed decisions, if we do not do that, then politicians will come and just simply give them 5 naira or 500 naira or 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira and buy their votes. And one of the things that I always say to people is that, look, once in every 4 years, the politicians actually respect the masses by going to meet them and having like a deal, which is a quid pro quo, something of importance for something of importance. There's an exchange, and so they give this small token of money, they buy votes, and the other people, they sell their votes. But the thing is that we've never spoken, the rest of us, both Nigerians in diaspora, both Nigerian elite, both of those that are educated, we don't really speak to the masses, especially those who are not educated, on the issue of what their votes are, how important it is, how helpful it is, the use and the power that those votes have. And we must never forget something, that the education that we have is not for us alone. It's for millions of others who have not had the capacity to be educated, who have not had the opportunity that we have to be educated. So we need to also be able to help them. And so that's why that circle of influence is very important. You have people who call you, you have friends and families back home, you have aunties, you have uncles in the village, you have people in the grassroots. Talk to them. So that's another way that you can help. And so a lot of times they will listen, will listen to you. So you also, so that's that circle of influence. In also in terms of education, I think I've not mentioned this. Talk to people about the importance of PVC registration. Even now, though now the PVC registration has been I think it has ended. You talk to them about collection. People must understand that they need to collect their PVC, and then they need to also come out to vote. You talk to them about what is needed in leadership. What is leadership all about? What are the requirements of leadership? Competence, character, capacity, people who have empathy, people who have courage, people who are patriotic, people who care for the people who are going to be sacrificial, people who are going to be transformational leadership. These are the things that we need to tell. You need to tell the people within your circle of influence about. You need to talk to the people you relate to it on how they too can choose the right candidate and the things they need to watch out for. It's not necessarily you say, oh, you must vote for this person. No, but give them what the guidelines are, so that the information, so that they'll be able to make informed decision in terms of choosing the leader. Not the one that we have right now, where people just assume that, oh, anybody can be in politics. Oh, even if they are rogues, they are charlatans, they are thieves and all of that. Those are the kind of people that go into politics. We need to change that narrative that people have always had, that it's only the bad people. Politics is dirty, it's for bad people. So these are ways that you can help. Nigerians in diaspora, you can also help by holding people back home accountable. The people you're helping, the people that you're there for them. Insist that they do the needful. Insist that they also ensure that government is doing the right thing. Insist that they do not put in people that will destroy the economy more, and then they become burden more for other people. Just let people know. For example, someone is coming to ask you for money, as someone who is an adult, and they don't have a PVC. I mean, it doesn't make sense, because you're just enabling the person to continue to behave badly. So these are certain questions. Do you have PVCs? What are you doing? Are you going to vote for somebody who on election day will sit at home and not go out to vote, and then after a while they're picking up their phone to come and tell you that, oh, they need money to do ABCD? That's enabling somebody in a very bad way, and so that's not the right thing to do. So you must also hold people accountable and insist that people do the right thing. Another thing that you can also do is campaign for candidates. Check out the candidates. Who are the candidates that you feel are the most competent ones, the ones that have the most capacity and all of that? Campaign for them. Talk about them. You can campaign for them on your social media. You can talk to the people around, in your fellow people in diaspora, because they too also have influence. You can talk to the people back home. Let people see who you support, because there's this thing that it does. A lot of people, when they see who their own support, they tend to sort of like go towards that way. So that's also very important. So like we've said earlier, help people to connect the dots. That's very important, to understand the relationship between governors and their lives. And you can use the experience where you are, the countries where you are, especially for those of you who are in countries where democracy do thrive and government are forced to do a lot of things, where people do have power. Let people understand that power also. And then as I round up, I'm about to round up now, the very big one also is on the issue of donating to candidates. it's a very, very important factor, because one of the things that we have is that we've over time we've allowed people who run for office to be the one to fund their campaign. So most times it is people who have looted the country dry that continue to perpetuate themselves by funding their campaigns, or they fund their stooges, people that will get there and they will control them. And so this has to stop. We must put our monies where our votes are. So what is very important now is for us to ensure that we are donating to candidates, so that people who with competence, people who are incorruptible, who even when they serve the public offices, they didn't steal any money, they didn't loot any money, they did the right thing. These are the people that we should all be helping by donating our widow's mite. It can be 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 100,000, 1 million for those who can, for those of us here. And for those of you in diaspora, your $1, €1, £1, $10, €10, £10, 20, for 100, for those who can, 10,000, 1,000. These are, you donate for the candidates, because most of the times when they talk about structure, it's really about money. And if we're able to donate to candidates who have character and who have competence, who are incorruptible, they will be able to match those who have looted our country dry, who have continued to perpetuate themselves in office without doing the right thing. Finally, I'm going to say, let me put my notes, but I think I've covered, because I really wanted to make this very extensive. Finally, what I would want to say is the fact that Nigerians in diaspora, please, 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 you need representatives back home in Nigeria. It doesn't, everything is about political power. Political power is very important. You need a seat at the table. You need a seat where decisions are being made. So there are some of you who are good, who will be able to represent you. From time to time, send them back home. In every state, at least try and have people in the state houses of assembly. Try and have people sent into, from whether it's from region or from where, at least have members in the state house, in the National Assembly, senators, House of Rep members, so that when decisions are being made, you'll be able to have the ones that they will be able to bring the diasporan issue to the table for discussion. This is not something that will stay away. Most of us, we've stayed away from governance for such a long time. We all need to participate in governance. And like Dr. Obiezo Kwesili, we always say, governance is of two sides. It's either the demand side or the supply side. So if you cannot do the supply side, be on the demand side. And if you cannot do the demand side, be on the supply side. At least let's be doing something to ensure that we get good governance, accountability, and transparency. And so thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions, just drop them. There are a few questions that have come up, so I'll continue to do videos to answer those questions. Sometimes I might not know what it is that people want to hear exactly, and sometimes there are people that have certain nagging questions. Let's ask them, let's get them out of the way, let's all learn together. Thank you so much, and see you again. Bye.